second. Let me just get the other.
Right.
I'd like to call to order the DDA meeting of August 12th. August. Can we stand to say the Pledge of Allegiance?
Yes.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, Nick, roll call, please.
Stauffer.
Here.
Raska.
Here.
Herrick.
Here.
Wingelmeyer.
Here.
Delaney.
Here.
Hembry. Elliott. And Cutsey.
Here.
Okay, and who are you missing?
Tina.
Tina.
And she said she was not feeling well this evening, so.
Okay. Motion to excuse Tina.
Motion to excuse. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? No? Okay. There we go. You have before you in the board packet the minutes from the last meeting. Are there any changes, additions, deletions to those minutes?
Motion to accept is presented.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any not approve it? Okay, the minutes of the July meeting have been approved. You also have before you tonight's agenda. Any motion to approve the proposed agenda?
Motion to approve the agenda as presented?
Okay.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay, the agenda is approved. We also have in our packet the financial report showing the beginning balance of $415,000, ending balance of $364,000. I know there were a couple larger expenditures in there. Does anybody have any questions with regards to the financial report? And Nick, I believe you were going to check into the revenue side of things and why our one account was lower than expected?
Yeah, I think it was from 22 to 23.
The tip?
Ed showed the
Yes.
tip. What Ms. Bigger said to me, and she was going to look into a little further, but she has not been in the office lately to be able to do that. But she, at the time when we just were kind of chatting about it, said she thinks it's because, each year she applies for a couple of state revenues, like from unclaimed house taxes. And if DDAs do that, they get some of that money. And so
Okay.
they split it up between the DDAs. And what she thinks is each year that gets a little lower. So that year it had lowered, and she thinks that was part of why that had happened. And then if you see the next year, it does go, last year's, it goes back up, but that's because our DDA district is growing, so, yeah.
Okay,
So I will ask her again once she gets back to make sure that was it, but, she was pretty sure that was probably what it was.
okay. Does anybody else have any questions on the financial report? No? Do we have a motion to accept it?
Motion to accept.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Financial report accepted. I'd like to now open up for public comments on items that are on the agenda. No public comments? Okay. We'll move on to new business. We have a few items on new business. The first one is adopt a garden, and we're going to let Jerome talk a little bit about that.
Yep.
Been going through the process with it. I know we spoke about it at the last meeting. 3 of the parks that are in the DDA boundary, obviously I needed to present that to the Parks and Rec Committee. They're excited about it and have approved us doing some of the Adopt a Garden activity in the parks as well that are in the DDA proper. Also, some of the committee members on the design committee have been helpful in getting some volunteers already. So haven't really pushed it forward quite yet because I was waiting to get it approved from Parks and Rec, and now that we did that last week and I was on vacation, and now we can move forward. And I already have I think 5 different landscape companies that are interested and willing to help adopt a garden as well, and I'm hoping to involve some of the residents and business owners in the community. So if you'll notice, the gardens that were, in my description, a little horrendous in front of the fire department have been redone, and they look much better, and that is one of the first ones that have been adopted and have been totally redone and look great. We're excited about it. A lot of good favorable feedback on it. So we're hoping to, it hasn't really been planting season since we got this going, so I'm not really pushing it too heavy until fall when we can do some fall plantings, and I'm really hoping to make a big push with the planting of spring bulbs this fall so that in the spring we can look fresh and new.
Awesome. Anybody have any comment?
Are you going to send information out, how to adopt and how much that costs and all that good stuff? Obviously, it was just approved, so I figured.
It's going to be, I'm going to have it all run through Nick at the office.
Okay.
So he'll be the point contact.
Perfect.
And yes, we developed a whole criteria. There's guidelines, there's a contract, so that when somebody adopts a garden, they know they're responsible for it for at least a year, and what they can plant and what they can't plant, and what they can put in and what they can't put in, because we didn't want them to go in multiple directions, shall I
Sure.
say?
Sure.
We wanted to keep a consistent feel throughout the community, and so we got information from many communities that are already doing this successfully and kind of massaged it to make it our own package. So we're pretty excited about it.
Perfect. Love that.
Any other questions or comments? Okay. Next item are...
Well, so, sorry
ahead.
to interrupt. So we just need to, because if you all remember at the beginning, just before the beginning of our new year, every year we vote to approve our work plans to go along with our budget. So I just thought that we should probably vote this in as a new work plan for the design committee. So if we get a first and second, and then a vote on to adopt it into our work plans.
Okay.
I move to add Adopt a Garden to our design work plans.
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay. That will be added to the design committee's work plan. Next on the agenda is the Knox boxes.
Yeah, say that 5 times. So this is similar. This item came up, I had talks with the village fire department about this beforehand, but just not anything that was solid to report. If you remember, Code Enforcer Nitschke came and Kurt Nitschke came and did a little talk, and Jeremy did a little talk about the Knox boxes, but just to kind of refresh your memory, it's they're basically boxes that only the fire department has keys to, and they put them in, certain places on a building that, it's usually kind of hidden from anybody else. And what they do is they keep the keys to the building inside those boxes. So if they need to get into the building, whether it's a fire or even just like gas leak or any kind of emergency when there's nobody at that building, the fire department has access to that key to just be able to get into that building. A great example that Jeremy always used, Chief Watson, I should say, Chief Watson. What he always uses is, not that long ago, they had a gas leak that they thought was coming from Blackthorn. And they had called and tried calling, nobody, Rory wasn't answering, and they were seconds away from knocking through their doors because, it was an emergency. And he pulled up just like within seconds. And so what this does is gives them quick access if nobody's there. It saves hopefully money from the business or building owners, and is just helps in our quick response of emergencies in the downtown. So what I've been...
I'm sorry, just have a
Oh, sorry.
question.
Yeah.
They're looking for the DDA to pay for this and to install them?
So what we're looking at doing, and we're looking at getting maybe larger ones that house like 4 or 5 of the buildings. And so the fire department would have a map so they know if they're going to Blackthorn, that box is here, and so they know to go there. And so that's going to lower the cost a little bit. But we're actually looking at doing, Kurt Ninchke's helping me look for some grants actually to help cover the cost, because they are pretty expensive. I think it's close to $500 a box, because they're basically indestructible boxes that, only the fire department has contact into. And so he is helping me look for some grants to help to partner with me to do. But again, I just felt if we were going to add this I figured this kind of fell into the Economic Vitality Committee, that I wanted to add that into our work plans to be able to pursue it a little bit more. If it's something that the DDA is going to put money into, sometimes with grants, you get half of it or something like that. I would always bring that back first before we did that. Another part of it was asking maybe the building owners, like if it's a $500 box, maybe if they put in $100 or something, if we needed to do that, that would be another way to go about it as well.
And this would be throughout the DDA district, not just downtown?
So we'll probably start in the downtown just because it is quite, I think he figured it, I don't want to quote now, but it was a pretty large number just to do the downtown. We figured we'd start in the downtown and then move up, through the district to ones that don't have it. The good side of it is, any new building that is being built within the DDA district, now the code says they have to have a Knox box, so they have to provide that.
So is it a key to the front door, per se, of
Yeah.
that building?
Yes.
And then who's responsible for maintaining that as you go on and get new owners and new locks and all sorts of things?
That would be the fire department would have to.
The fire department.
So luckily, so the good thing of that is they're also the holders of the registration for businesses. So as businesses turn over and building owners turn over, hopefully they're getting those updates as well, so.
Okay. Go ahead.
I just have a question about that.
Yes.
I've not had any knowledge previously of Knox box, so I don't know whether that's some fire department exclusive type company or something, I don't know. But I know that there are these boxes available from alarm companies. So my question is, wouldn't we want to research that a little further and find out what other opportunities are available? $500 for a box seems very expensive to me,
Yeah,
as a business owner specifically.
yeah,
But, I know, for instance, we have an alarm company at the antique shop, and I can get one from them, like next to nothing.
right.
And so my question is that suitable? Can a business owner get their own and have it that way? I know a lot of companies offer them for a lot of purposes. When my mother was living in her home, we had a lockbox on her house that the fire department had access to,
Yeah.
and rescue companies. And I'm trying to figure out how this is so different, because there was no way it was $500.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm sure that the fire department wants one key, right? That would work on all of
It's
them?
only, yes, yep, that is true. Yeah, the one key
But it
works
doesn't
on all
mean
of
that you
them.
can't go for a 3-bid and look and see if there are other
Yeah,
opportunities.
There are other types of that, and I guess by putting, and we could say this even if we want, but I was just kind of putting this on our work plan, so
Right,
then
right.
we can discuss that and go through that and make sure, what I could do is have Kurt maybe even come to one of our economic vitality meetings and talk about it as well. Because I know he has several different ones. And the one that was that expensive, I think it was because it held so many of the keys to where, like, instead of just holding one business, it held a lot of different businesses.
That makes sense.
But he would have more of that information.
Any other questions? Could we get a motion to add the Knox boxes to the Economic Vitality Work Plan?
So moved.
Second. Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, that passes. Acceptance of a transformation strategy. If you will remember when Tim was here, it was last meeting, I believe, he talked a lot about transformation strategies, and it's something that we've been working on from the organization committee. And there were a number of, I would say, templates, different types of transformation strategies, and we, based upon all the research we've done and where we analyze what we think we might be missing, where we need to work on, we looked at all of those different transformation strategies, and we actually picked 2 that we would like to work on. And they provide a template for all of the committees then to say, these are the type of things that you should be working on, so it's all tying back to that transformation strategy. And it doesn't mean that you can't work on other things, but it just means that that's kind of your guiding light. That if we want to be this type of community, these are the type of things that we should be working on. And it does a really good job of kind of guiding us. So I'm going to let Nick go and talk a little bit about the ones that we chose and are presenting tonight.
Yeah, and this kind of really has been an accumulation of what the organization committee has been working on for probably a little over a year, even with our market analysis and getting our market snapshot and our new mission statement. I could think of vision, but I couldn't think of mission. Mission statement, and really putting all of this together, looking at things like our market analysis, our SWOT analysis, sales gaps, and population characteristics and trends of our area. We did a business inventory and did a competitive assessment of surrounding areas, and just helped kind of guide, as we looked at all this, kind of guide what, direction we felt maybe the DDA could be going in. And really, National Main Street has asked us to come up with a couple transformation strategies, or in Oakland County, they like to call them economic growth strategies, that, can help all 4 of our committees. And really, as Linda kind of alluded to, a transformation strategy is just a statement of intentional economic direction, that can be used to help us focus and to help guide us into our future developments. And like she said, it doesn't mean that if something doesn't fit exactly into that we can't do that anymore. This is just a guide to help us kind of know, a direction that we're going. And so going through all of those, we came up with a couple of them because we really felt these examples fit into our community, and that was the storytelling and the community serving ones. And they just seem to really fit where we're at now, and also looking at some growth in areas that we want to go to with our district. And, as I read through them even more, each time I read them, I got more and more of some of our committees this year. These are things in our work plans. So I think these are really fitting for our DDA. And so with that, we picked storytelling strategy that focuses on refining the brand and identity of your district, creating connections with visitors and the residents to the history and to the heart of your district. It's kind of like the atmosphere, and a lot of us, in each of the committees we talk about, the atmosphere, kind of that quaintness or whatever that we call of Holly, that Holly has within their atmosphere. And we just really felt that aligned with where we're at, where our district is at, and something that we could really utilize to help grow our district. Some of the key descriptions of storytelling were your image, your perception, your brand development, marketing, investor confidence, community pride, safety, wayfinding, community engagement, advocacy, history, community narrative, job security, relationship building, education, connection, resident ownership, community culture, selling, advertising, tourism, and destination marketing. I mean, that just encapsulates so much just within that. And so the other then was the community serving strategy, which focuses on developing an environment that is entrepreneur-friendly and intentionally incentivizes businesses and that not only serve the needs of the residents, but also the greater community beyond our walls as well. And again, we just really felt this strategy aligned with where we're at and where we want to head off to. And if you look, at those sheets, at the community serving one, again, business diversity, walkability, knowing your audience, commuter metrics, business hours, engagement, promotions, incentives, convenience, uses, community gathering spaces, beautification, accessibility, user experience, amenities, participation, volunteer base, accessible necessities, grocery stores, entrepreneur-friendly, safety, transportation solutions, and amenities, education, public amenities, educational institution engagement, and public and private service and professional services. And so I think, within those descriptions, just hits just about everything that we're doing in those descriptions. And then within those little sheets that were in your packet, it also talks about the pros of each of them and even some of the cons to each of them and some things that, maybe could draw you away from what, your mission is. And then some things to think about with each of the strategies. And then, like Linda said, some examples that could fit right into each of the 4 points, the 4-point approach of Main Street. And so if we choose to adopt these strategies, what we'd like to do as an organization committee is then to take some time to meet with each of the committees and go through them, the other 3 committees, and how those strategies could be used within those committees, and just kind of help talk through what we've been talking through for the last year. And so we can all kind of focus on some similar things, working together to grow our district. The way they usually work is you use a strategy for a couple years and reevaluate. Actually, every year you kind of reevaluate it, see where you're at. But after a couple years, kind of look at it intently and think, do we want to stick with these or do we want to move on to something else? And maybe we want to move on with just one of them or both of them, or stick with the 2. So it's not something that if you choose these, that's it for the rest of eternity. This is what the DDA has to do. It's just something to kind of help guide us and focus us a little bit.
And just a couple more things. One of the reasons why storytelling seemed to resonate so well is with the impending move of the depot. There's an opportunity there to really kind of delve into the history of Holly. There's the ability to put signs in our buildings to show what it was like and to tell people what the value of that railroad was. And it's not just for our visitors, it's for the people in Holly, and it's to help to create that pride in your own hometown. And then as far as the community serving, the reason why that one kind of resonated is that sometimes we are hyper-focused on downtown and not necessarily the community at large. And so this is going to allow us to kind of take a look at, are we serving our whole community? We have a very diverse community here in Holly, and are we just, focusing on people that are coming in for the day, or are we also looking at, are we serving our larger community, the people that work here and live here every day? So that's kind of why we chose those 2. Does anybody have any questions? I mean, we will go over these if they are adopted. We will go over, like we said, in more detail at each of the meetings with the committees. No questions? Do we have a motion to accept these transformation strategies?
Motion to
Okay.
accept.
Support.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? No? Okay, then we will accept these two transformation strategies to guide our DDA board and committees over the next few years. Okay, we do not have any old business on the agenda today, so we'll go into committee reports, and I will just basically say that we just did organization, so we will go on to one of the other committees if you have anything to report.
We did have an economic vitality meeting, my first one as chair, last month. We were fortunate enough to get Tim Cole back in, and it gave us kind of a deep dive into a lot of the resources that are available with the county.
Okay.
And again, we're just trying to get our arms around exactly what we've got. We've certainly had some turnover in members on the committee, and I'm welcoming in some new faces, so we're kind of level setting. This was a great start, though, to see what's out there and what we can perhaps use. We can maybe kind of be a conduit to help get some of those resources to some of the businesses in town as we go forward. So lots more work to do, but good start of it.
Great. Promotions, did you guys meet?
Nope, we're meeting next week.
Okay.
Well, we did meet.
What?
We did meet.
You guys did meet.
Yes.
I
we
had
did.
to miss it. You guys did a concentrated meeting.
We did.
I missed it.
We had a meeting. Boy, I didn't think about not having someone that, we talked about a couple of we went through our work plans. We talked about how we want to concentrate on the parks, our surrounding parks, and advertising out through them. We have a $1 a day promotion through social media that we're working on. And anything else, Holly, that you can think of?
No, I think that covers
A
them.
good portion of it was spent on, I think, brainstorming through that social media and getting the words right for that, so, yeah.
Okay. Design committee, did you have anything else?
Well, I just want to say that the design committee took the conversations of the Parks and Rec situation with the tree removal and the replanting very seriously. And at our design meeting, I had invited Joe, the chairman of Parks and Rec, to attend, which he did. And we also had Danny, who had been contracted to do some of the tree planting, attend the meeting as well. So we were in the room together and went over everything. And then we decided that it would be best if we met in person at the park, which we did. We had another date set, and we met at the park. And Parks and Rec also was involving Oakland County and SISMA. Is that right?
That's right.
SISMA. And it was very interesting because we invited them to come meet us at the park. And so I don't know, there was probably 6 or 8 of them that came. There was a whole entourage of people from Oakland County, but they all have their own avenue of expertise, which was great. And we talked about the future of Ganshaw Park and what it could be for the community. And we're going to be really embracing that moving forward because there's a lot of opportunities there. With a water feature like that, most communities would wish for something like that, and we're looking for ways to really highlight it and make it an important, viable part of our community.
Awesome.
And make it look better for John's backyard.
Awesome.
Thank you. It was good, and we talked about several other things that we're going to be working on moving forward. So what you brought forward with the community serving and the storytelling fits right in with everything
Awesome.
that we talked about. So
Great.
we're pretty excited about it.
Great. Okay, director report.
I have nothing to add
Nothing to
what
add?
was in the packet, except that I have a sympathy card if, at the end of the meeting, if board members would like to sign it. I don't know who all heard, but that Lisa Clark actually passed away. And so I got the sympathy card I'll send or take to Lobo
Okay.
on our behalf.
Thank you. Thank you. We'll now open it for public comment. Do we have any from our two public members? No? Additional board comments?
Question about the Harry Potter event. Last year, did we sponsor that? Was it a DDA sponsored event? Did we end up doing that?
No,
No.
it was not.
We just helped them with porta potties?
I don't remember. I don't think we even ended up doing that, really.
Or was it a
It was insurance.
co-sponsor for the insurance?
Yeah, it was basically,
Co-sponsor it?
and I helped them with, turn in the event form and helping with the planning of it and such. But it's not it's a merchant-driven event.
They want our help with volunteers this year, so,
With Harry Potter?
yeah, I was gonna bring it up at our organization meeting, but since you broached the subject.
Just curious, I couldn't remember what we did last year.
They asked if we would help them with volunteers, and I said yes, but I didn't ask first.
Yeah, that's fine. Oh, that's
I
fine.
didn't
No,
think
it's
you
fine.
guys would mind.
No,
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 it's
no.
Board
fine.
member was present there too, so.
There are a lot of events, though, within that, like, 5-week period, because we'll have Witches Night Out, then Harry Potter,
Yeah.
followed right behind with Ladies' Weekend.
Right.
So,
Yes.
So I think that, I would like to offer that up to our volunteers.
Yes,
If you guys are okay with that.
yes, absolutely.
But yeah, that's a merchant-driven event, but we support it, of course.
But we are co-sponsoring
Yeah.
it. That was my question. Okay, perfect.
Holly, are you gonna say anything about it?
oh, so in our economic vitality group, we kind of chatted about starting a coffee connection, which I'm really excited to host for the first time, and it's for retailers only, because it's going to be retail-driven, and it's really just a networking, brainstorming meeting amongst the retail businesses for economic vitality. How do we move ahead and be successful together, and come up with some good strategies. We have very seasoned retailers and then new retailers as well. So with that mix, it's great because what works for one might not work for the other, or they hadn't thought of that. So it's really kind of a networking gathering. So the first one is going to be at my store. It's going to be Tuesday, August 20th from 8 to 9 in the morning. Yeah, 8 to 9 in the morning, and those Evite invitations were sent out to the DDA retailers this morning.
Nice.
Am I providing coffee for that?
We would love that.
Want to
Absolutely.
slip in a few of those baked goods too, that'd be awesome. Just saying.
Just saying.
Yeah, so we're excited about that. Things are tough downtown and throughout the DDA district, not just here, all through Oakland County. So it'll be good to just chat and network and get some different ideas.
Great.
See what we
Get to
can
know
get
each
going.
other.
And get to know each other
That was the
and what
big
businesses
discussion.
offer and what they have and,
That's great.
yeah.
That's great.
Any other comments from the board? No? It's 6:33. We're going to adjourn this meeting. Our next meeting will be Monday, September 9th, 6 PM, right here. Thank you.
John, we want you to come.
I will.